That. I need to talk about that because when I first heard that, this is what happens when I hear something mad and my eyes start watering. This is what gets me gassed about music. Like, so today's a little test run of a new kind of video that I'm testing. That's why I said test run. And I'm basically going to be reacting or breaking down songs. I'm not sure if you're going to call it a reaction if I've heard the song before. There's a thread between everything I'm going to play you, and it's probably that it's electronic sounding, I guess. And a lot of these songs are going to be kind of old. I will do a lot of new songs as they come out, but let's be honest, a lot of the music that's coming out today is trash, so there's only going to be a couple gems. That intro kind of reminds me of I don't know, like when you start up an old PlayStation or an old video recorder. It's got this very vintage vibe. It's like a grand opening. When you got those kind of unstable pitchy synths, I love that. Anything that sounds unstable sounds pretty cool because it has movement, you know? It's not just static, it's kind of animated. I like that. Sick melody. You see that drum pattern of the tom drums? I would never think of that. Most of my drum patterns come from things that I could probably beatbox or tap on the table with my hands. When I was in school, I used to be that guy just tapping on tables. It's like I needed an instrument around me at all times. Yeah, it's cold. If I focus and listen to it and just focus and try and be with it, it's like I'm hearing it for the first time again. And that beat just slaps so hard. It's like the system and the electronics and the computer is coming alive. You've got all these samples that it's almost like they don't actually belong together. But obviously, because we can use samples all day long, we can put the most random things together, like a guy saying, and then the squeakiest synths, and then that snare that sounds like, I don't know. So it's the groove and the pockets that you're trying to get between all the samples. It's kind of like, it's not even kind of like, it's exactly like playing 5 instruments at the same time. These instruments aren't even in the same space or from the same family. Electronic music for me now is probably the most interesting to make because you're going to get some stuff like this that people have never heard. We got a different vocal sample. That. We need to talk about that because when I first heard that, this is what happens when I hear something mad and my eyes start watering. This is what gets me gassed about music. Like when he replaced the vocal sample with the squeaky synth just once. You don't have to be like a producer to hear that because it stands out like a sore thumb. It's like something that you've seen all the time and I quickly switch it to something else. You're just like, what? Maybe it's just me. I've got the ears like that, so. Woo. What is that? Do you know? Oh man, it sounds like a door squeaking, but the door is like some futuristic door. Like I don't know what it is. First drop. That melody is cold though. And you hear the squeak in the background. What is that? Switch. Different drop. Oh. That bass, man, sounds like it's talking to me. Sounds like it's saying something. The way it's phrased, especially when you don't have lyrics, you're using the music to do all the talking, man. Kick the door down. Broken door. Bring it back. What is that sound? When I first heard this one, I was playing it on repeat every day for a week. And it's rare that I do that. Those songs, they go into my top 100, I'd say, of songs that I wish I actually made. Not just songs I like, songs that I wish I made and got the credit for, and people loved me because I done it.
Cheer.
I get this vibe of like a washing machine or tumble dryer. Weird sound. And I know Lab, he loves his kind of vintage and electro synths from the past, like 80s and 70s and all of that stuff. And not a lot of people are using it, so you're gonna sound unique and stand out anyway. Different intro. It's the goat, man.
Feel the morning on my face. Ain't a pill that I didn't
Like I'm smiling already.
Just a lifetime, 'cause it's been a long day.
It's been a long day, bro.
But I'm asleep when R.I.P.
It's like you're in church, but it's got this big, gigantic organ feel to it, like Notre Dame or something like that. But it doesn't sound dark. It doesn't sound like gargoyles or anything like that. And all that darkness and gothic, it's got those tones of it, you know what I mean? But he's playing it in a very groovy kind of way. It's just one sound. The less instruments and sounds you have at the same time, the bigger it's going to sound.
Flashbacks, relapses.
Again, they're so empty, like literally kick and snare. That bass sound. Squiggly, can I say that word? I'm here trying to define these sounds. Squiggly is probably the word that I'm going to use for this. Again, it's hard because they don't exist in real life, so what do you compare it to? If you can't tell by now, he's literally my number one musician. Number one. He has this mad way of blending genres and making it work. He does just enough of each thing, so it's just a couple trap hi-hats, you know? Not a full pattern, but it's enough to say, okay, we're cooking with some hip-hop here, you know? Just a little bit of the ingredients. And like cooking, you don't want to put too much in there, man. You're going to overpower it. Too much curry, it can only taste like curry. Too much coconut, it can only taste like coconut.
You gonna run game, it don't ever run you. When they bitching on your name, you say fuck you too.
It's facts though.
You say fuck a cold case, give detective no clues.
The swagger singing, man. I got that term from him. He said it in one interview or something like that. He's like, he's not even singing, he's not rapping. He's like swagger singing. And that's definitely what it is. Somehow I can hear the Jamaican in the music. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. I'm trying to think about what it is right now. Could be the way he's swagger singing them lines. And then bass in it. A lot of Jamaican and reggae music is all about the bass, the low end. So
let's get real quiet. Feel so stupid.
And this. It's so simple, but oh, them harmonies.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
About to make a big deal. Uproar, and I'm in for the kill. Uproar.
It's like the most gangster church. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the most gangster church you can go to. Like someone's on the organ just. That's the best way to describe it. And he's got that in a lot of his songs, to be honest.
Feel the morning on my face. Ain't a pill that I didn't take.
Those ad-libs.
It's been a long day. But I'm asleep when R.I.P.
His sound is just so unique. I think all of my top artists, producers, singers, and favorite songs, they all fall into that category of being quite unique artists. You'd think every artist on the planet would sound really unique because we're all really unique people and we're all very different, but we all know that is not the case, and that's why a lot of people just sound the same. Either they want to sound like everyone else, or they're scared to be different and be themselves, or there's nothing, I can't say there's nothing special about them. There is, they're just probably too lazy to find out what it is and use it, I guess. Yeah, I'm really attracted to songs that sound like there could only ever be one of that song, and I have a whole list of them. The stuff I listen to, some people will be like, this is different, that's the first thing they say. I'm like, yeah, it's probably the only song that sounds like this. And that's the way I make music as well. I'm always trying to make something that it's got to be different enough to where someone else can't make it. It has to be me, and it has to be unique. And I think those are the best songs. Obviously, you're gonna have that whole audience of people that just like the same thing over and over again. I'm not one of them, and I hope you're not one of them either. This was a good test. We're gonna edit it, I guess.